What is up, everybody? My name's Big Cam and welcome back to another movie review breakdown, whatever this is called, because today we're talking spoilers and everything that happened in the Thunderbolts. Oh my god, I got to see it yesterday and it is so good. I can't wait to see it again this weekend with my roommate. But it was funny because a lot of other reporters out there were saying that they needed to see it twice to be able to understand if they liked it or not. I don't think that's the case at all. I watched it the one time through and I absolutely loved it, but I love these movies in general. I love these characters. I really have a fucking crush and love for Florence Pugh, but you know, Bucky, Johnny Mayonnaise, John Walker, Red Guardian, even Ghost, you know, people like that. Like, I like these characters. To see these characters that were all separated all of a sudden come together, I was really happy about it. And you know, I have these two posters here. This poster was just the original poster released for the Thunderbolts, and it just still is perfect with each one of them all over each other and Yelena just in the middle, like, oh god, this team is crazy. But we finally learned where the Thunderbolts come from and what that asterisk means. This is also a great poster with them all sitting around the table, and Julia Louis-Dreyfus is sitting there as well. And yeah, crazy group, crazy movie. Really good. As far as Rotten Tomatoes goes, it initially had a 95% with 42 critic score, and it is currently sitting at an 88 with 202 critic scores, which 88 is still certified fresh, and then it's sitting at a 95% audience score. So audiences are really loving it, critics are also really loving it. Because the first couple, you know, reviews were 95 and then 90, and now it's holding strong at 88% for Thunderbolts. 2 hour, 6 movie. It does have a post-credit scene and then like a post-credit scene, so you got to stick around till the end. And that post-credit scene is, you know, important. You know what I mean? Like, it returns to form for Marvel with post-credit scenes where you watch it and you're like, yes, this is exactly what I wanted. I wanted a tease of where this stuff could be going in the future. And an actual scene shot by the Russo brothers, you know, and if you guys didn't want to hear spoilers, back out now. Come back later after you've seen Thunderbolts, because I am talking spoilers. But I'm trying to be as vague as possible for you stragglers that haven't gotten out of here yet. But the Russo brothers shot the post-credit scene because they're also filming Doomsday right now in London, and there's like shots getting leaked on the internet from that, so be careful if you don't want to see Doomsday spoilers. But the post-credit scene teases the future, you know, and the next movie coming out from Marvel is Fantastic Four First Steps, and it kind of ties into that, and then that will tie into Doomsday, I'm sure. So the next movies they have coming are leading to something, and you know, it has me being able to speculate. Like, the whole ride home yesterday from the movie theater, me and my buddy that went to see it together are just, you know, oh, where could this go? What could that mean? Where this could do this, and that, oh, what if this happens? And why has it been this amount of time? You know, like, because the movie ends, I guess we'll just talk about it, because what the Thunderbolts asterisk means. The movie ends, and the asterisk is now the changing of the team name from the Thunderbolts, which I thought would have had to do something with Thunderbolt Ross. Apparently, Yelena's soccer team when she was a kid were called the Thunderbolts, and that's where the team name comes in, which is just cuter and funnier. But the new team name is the New Avengers. Now, will they change the actual title of the movie to the New Avengers now that it's out? I don't think so. I like the title Thunderbolts more than New Avengers, honestly. But the New Avengers is like the whole point of this movie, is they get to the very end and they're like trying to hunt down Val and this whole team, right, that wasn't a team, and they were all hired to go up against each other, and then all of a sudden they form this team. And you honestly, I really bought in, like, with Ghost, the 3 super soldiers, John Walker, Red Guardian, and Bucky, and then Yelena, just the normal Black Widow, normal girl, Ghost, who's got like these phasing powers, which is crazy, and then Bob here. And Bob, who is played by Pullman, I think is perfectly cast, right? And initially that Bob character was supposed to be Stephen Ewan, from Beef and who voices Invincible. And honestly, because Sentry looks like yellow and blue and he's crazy powerful and with the long blonde hair, I think Louis Pullman was absolutely perfect for this casting, and he really played the Sentry and Boyd and Bob. There's kind of three different versions to this character, because there is Bob, the normal guy, and then Sentry is like the superhero god man, and you can't get Sentry apparently without the Void side. So Bob's just like, I did the dishes, I'm sorry. But you know, I do really like Louis Pullman's casting in that, and the Void, whenever I saw the Void, was terrifying. Like this image of all the people turning into shadows. Luckily, the Thunderbolts saved the day, and Val realizes her mistake of trying to make the Sentry the new superhero. Not exactly the case, you know, so she pivots and tricks them into walking out into like a press conference, and then they walk out and she goes, let me introduce the new Avengers to you, and Yelena walks up into her ear and goes, we own you now. So now they own Valentina, or Valentina's just like, okay, whatever, and they're still playing her. But I guess it is what it is, because at the end they time jump 14 months and the new Avengers are in the former Avengers Tower, which is called the Watchtower now, which is exactly what the Watchtower was called for Sentry in the comics. But the Watchtower is now the new Avengers. The new Avengers now have these new logos. The old Avengers logo, the Fantastic Four, which we'll talk about in a second, the X-Men, and then now this new Avengers logo. I don't necessarily love the new Avengers logo, but we did see like pretty much the time passing. They just gave all their actors longer hair, like they almost added just extensions to their hair, and then some of them have slightly different suits. Like you can see in this image here, Bucky has like a star on his other arm that's not his metal arm now, and kind of has like an Avengers logo on his chest. And in that post-credit scene, they're talking, and apparently Sam Wilson and Bucky are having a big fight, and Sam Wilson is suing them for the use of the name Avengers, because I think at the end of Captain America Brave New World, Sam Wilson is going to recruit his and find and, you know, build his own Avengers team, and all of a sudden there's this new Avengers team out there. He's like, motherfucker, I'm supposed to be the new Avengers, and you're out here with Val and these other shitty killers that aren't really heroes. I mean, sure, Yelena wanted to be a hero, but like Red Guardian wants to be a hero for fame and fortune and friends, you know, like, and he's so full in so fields. But Red Guardian is so funny in this movie. There's honestly so many funny parts. But like the cast in this is really awesome. The emotional relationship between Yelena and Red Guardian, and like how the whole team works together, right? Like I teared up at a point where the team all like, they just flip over this like giant cement wall together, and like them working as a team together, really, like I was like, but just to open up the movie with Yelena, Florence Pugh taking a high dive off the second tallest building in the world is honestly a crazy opening shot to this movie, and the fact that they did most to all of this movie practically is insane. And there is one part of the movie where in the trailer I thought for sure Red Guardian was going to die, where he gets yeeted out of a window, but they tricked us because they cut that shot in the trailer right when he gets yeeted out the window. He gets yeeted out and then pulled back in, and I looked at my buddy and I was like, yo, Sentry's got the Force? And he goes, yeah, dude. I was like, I thought he was like Superman. He goes, nah, bro, he's way more powerful than Superman. I go, evidently he is. You know, like, goddamn, Sentry was crazy. I was like, I was scared of Sentry, and like when he's the Void form and he's just black with the yellow glowing eyes was nutty. And then like when Bob's fighting Sentry and Sentry's like taking him over and they save him with a hug. Oh. Some people might hate this movie. I genuinely really liked it. Some certified fresh posters, film BJ Collegialo. Sorry if I butchered the name. An emotional gut punch. And then here's another one that says, one of the best Marvel films of all time, right? Because a lot of the more recent ones have been the best Marvel film since Endgame and best since Endgame, and they like to say that like that's like an insult but also a compliment. Why compare it to Endgame? It's not close to Endgame. Like Endgame's you know, a giant arc that climaxed after 20 years, right? Like now we're trying to build up to that again, but I honestly don't think we have enough runway to build up to it like Avengers Endgame. Like, I really don't think Avengers Doomsday is going to feel like Endgame. But it might, you know, who knows? By the time we get to 2026 in May, we might all be really jazzed and crazy about seeing Robert Downey Jr. as Doctor Doom, and the Fantastic Four might blow our minds, you know, and Superman might blow our minds, and we might be back in this Superman superhero kick of like superhero movies making $1 billion over and over and over again. Like, I don't know. I don't think so. I really don't think we'll ever be back to the pre-Endgame type of time or the Endgame type of time, since COVID and everything fucked that up. I mean, there's people that still haven't seen Captain America Brave New World, and they're just waiting for it to come out at home, you know? Like, I'm sure there's people that aren't going to see Thunderbolts until they can see it at home, just for the convenience of it. And they're like, well, I already paid for Disney Plus, so I'm sure it will be out in 45 days, which most of the time it is, but, you know, Captain America Brave New World hasn't been out yet, and that came out Valentine's Day, so it's definitely been more than 45 days since then, right? But it is what it is. This movie was tremendous. I'd love to hear your thoughts down below. Oh, and that fight scene with all of them in friggin' Yelena throws the knife in Ghost's phase and then grabs the knife and then turns and throws it at John Walker. Wild fight scene between the 4 or 5 of them in that room, and you're sitting there, and it's funny because they show up and Yelena's hunting, like her task, like her mission that Val gave her was to take out Ghost, and then it seems like Val gave them each missions but didn't tell them about each other. So Yelena's got to take out Ghost has to take out Taskmaster has to take out U.S. agent John Walker has to take out Yelena, and then they're all sitting there going, who's this Bob guy? He's not supposed to be here. Who the hell is this civilian? And they think he's just a normal guy. He's like in a hospital gown and he's got bare feet. He was supposed to be dead. And then all of a sudden he becomes this like superhero man, you know, like, oh boy. All of a sudden you're like, oh, he's Superman, great. And they gave him a super soldier serum and it enhances who you are, right? So it made Bucky the Winter Soldier. It made Red Guardian the Red Guardian. It made John Walker U.S. douchebag. If Sam Wilson took it, it would probably make him an even better man. But, you know, Chris Evans, Steve Rogers took it, and he became Captain America. Poor Bob, with mental issues, takes it, and he becomes goddamn Sentry Void. You know what I mean? Like, so it goes to show you that just because you're creating the super soldier serum does not mean you're going to get a Steve Rogers, you know? Like, it's fascinating all these years later that they're still trying to do this super soldier type of thing. And one of the biggest questions I had, and maybe one of you guys can answer it in the comics or comment section below, or message me on my other social medias, links for those down in the description below. In the film, they kept saying Ox, and it was spelled O-X-E, I believe, or just maybe Ox, O-X. But Ox was kind of like this secret shield that Val was running. I keep calling her Vanessa, coming off of Daredevil. She's Valentina Allegra de Fontaine, Val. But Val had this secret place. Is Ox in the comics? Because I leaned over to my buddy. I was like, what is Ox? And he goes, maybe it's Roxxon, and it's just like a shortened Roxxon. That was the only thing he could guess. But comment below, is Ox the thing that she was the security build? You know what I mean? The thing that she was running secretly, Ox. Is that in the comics? Is there precedent for that? I'd love to hear those type of things down in the comment section below. But just gonna give my ranking of the films and my review, and then we're gonna get out of here. But my score out of 5 stars or 10 stars, whatever your score is, please leave it down in the comment section below. But Thunderbolts, I gave about a 9 out of 10 and a 4.5 out of 5 stars. If I had to give it a true 10 score, though, it's maybe a 9.0 to a 9.1 is I think where I'm sitting right now. But it could be right on the cusp of like an 8.9 or a 9.1. And if there's one thing Dave Portnoy has taught me, you can't do a straight 10.0 because then what if you like something better, you know what I mean? So you always gotta save yourself some room for stuff to be better and stuff to be worse. But Thunderbolts, I genuinely really liked and gave it 4.5 out of 5 stars, about a 9 out of 10. So my ranking of Marvel movies after Endgame, right, just because it's a shorter list and it's easier to comprehend, because everything, if you rank all Marvel projects right now that I have, in not including every show, but everything that's on Letterboxd, it's like 89 projects right now, and it's absurd. Going back all the way to Blade, you know what I mean? So I want to create another list that's just the MCU and just the stuff that Marvel Studios has put out, not even Fox, not even really Sony. You know, maybe the Spider-Man with Tom Holland, because that is Marvel Studios. But I want to create another list that's just MCU. But this list here is my favorite Marvel films since Endgame. So those films would include Spider-Man No Way Home, Guardians 3, Shang-Chi, Black Panther Wakanda Forever, Spider-Man Far From Home, Doctor Strange The Multiverse of Madness, Deadpool and Wolverine, Captain America Brave New World, Eternals, The Marvels, Black Widow, Thor Love and Thunder, and Quantumania. And this is the list of them 1 through 14, with Thunderbolts coming in at 3. So I really, really liked Thunderbolts, more than I thought. And this wasn't even me shuffling this around and making this custom. I put all these films into this list and then just hit, you know, rank by what I scored the highest. And this is how it came out. And I was like, ooh, this is actually pretty damn accurate. Okay, so I've been ranking these with my reviews pretty solid for what I actually feel about them. And obviously Spider-Man No Way Home I still really, really love, because you get to see all 3 of my Spider-Men from my entire life on screen at the same time, and it was just a beautiful film and amazing that they were able to do that. Guardians 3 made me cry so goddamn hard, and just was such a culmination in James Gunn, such a great filmmaker, that was just a phenomenal film. But movies like Guardians 3 and Black Panther Wakanda Forever are both so good, but so sad that it doesn't have the rewatchability like some of these films does. Like, I'm very curious to see Thunderbolts again, and to see, because I have a feeling Thunderbolts is going to be a movie that I watch all the time. You know, like when it comes out at home, it'll be something that I just throw on all the time, because I can, you know, I can laugh, I can, you know, there's some great action, there's some great movie, you know, like, where Deadpool and Wolverine, there's wonderful parts in that I want to watch every single time. But there's also like that stupid opening credits dance sequence where the first 5 times I watched it, I was like, bye, bye, bye. Dancing, doing all the things. Now I just want to skip through that dance section. I'm like, it goes on too long. We get it. We've seen it. You're right. Like, the jokes become tired at a certain point in Deadpool and Wolverine. But the fights are still really dope, right? Like the fight on the 20th Century Fox logo with Deadpool and Wolverine, and then they meet, you know, Johnny Storm, and then the fight that they have in the minivan, and then the fight at the end of the movie, right? Like, there is some great scenes and great stuff with Deadpool and Wolverine, and seeing all the Deadpool Corps and all of the Wolverines in that little like sequence where he's finding the Wolverines, and we see comic book accurate, we see the Calverine, you know, like, that movie's got great moments, but there is moments in it that become stale. Shang-Chi, there's no real stale moments. Maybe the third act villain's not that strong, but the movie itself and the characters and like the way that movie looks, I really love Shang-Chi, so that comes in at 4. Far From Home is still up there as one of the better Spider-Man films for me. I really like how that ended and led us into No Way Home. Multiverse of Madness coming in at 7, ahead of Deadpool and Wolverine, to me just says numbers on how much Doctor Strange has come around on me. Because initially, my initial review for that, I did not like it at all. And I was really mad that it's the Multiverse of Madness, and we didn't even go to Multiverse, and nothing was mad. You know, like, I had a lot of critiques and a lot of opinions. But now, after the fact, that I can just see that as like a scary, haunted type of movie, and a Sam Raimi Marvel movie, that's what that is. It's a Sam Raimi horror-esque Doctor Strange film, and it's really good. And if he does Doctor Strange 3, I'm not mad at all. Like, Sam Raimi's a phenomenal filmmaker. I mean, some people forget that he gave us the first 3 Spider-Man, and they were phenomenal. I love those movies. Grew up on those movies, you know what I mean? Like, Captain America Brave New World coming in at 9, Eternals at 10, The Marvels at 11, Black Widow at 12, and then 13 and 14 being Thor, Love and Thunder and Quantumania. I think that's a pretty solid and accurate list, right? Because Eternals maybe could be below Black Widow, but I actually kind of like Eternals. Black Widow I like, but it doesn't have as much impact because of when it came out, and it's supposed to be set before Civil War. So can you even really count that as after Endgame if it's supposed to be set before? Because she is very dead in Endgame, right? Like, she doesn't come back after Endgame. But that movie is very important to the Thunderbolts because it sets up who Red Guardian and Yelena is, you know? And then Yelena goes on to Hawkeye, and it's fun stuff. But thank you guys so much for coming by in this video. Please drop your ranking 1 through 14 or just your score for this Thunderbolts movie. I would love to hear your thoughts about it. What did you think about this movie? What score would you give it? What is your favorite film in Marvel since Endgame? What's your favorite film overall in Marvel? I would love to hear all these things. I'd love to chat more with you guys, especially if you've made it this far in the video. I really appreciate you guys. And if you could like this video, commenting below really helps the channel grow. Hit that bell so you don't miss future videos and you get the notifications when they come out. Thank you guys so much. Subscribe if you haven't already. Follow my other social medias in the description below if you'd like to chat some more. My name is Big Cam. Once again, thank you guys so much, and I will see you beautiful people in the next one. Peace!